Hello, and welcome to the 2025-2026 season recap in my Tottenham Hotspur 2022-2023 goalkeeper kit quest. And as you can see here on the screen, you usually start with like the kind of home area with the objectives and whatnot. We're starting here in the squad screen to show you that this is the last season slash last episode of this kit quest. Because as you can see here, Hugo Lloris' status, it says retiring end of season. And we are at the end of the season, so he's retiring once I hit the end of the sim. So this is it for this kit quest, and kind of go over how I felt it went in general at the end. But I just wanted to kind of show this at the start. So this is the last episode of this, because Lloris is retiring at the end of the season. Alright, so kind of going back to how we usually do things, we'll start with the owner objectives. As you can see here, our status is reasonable. So it means that we had a pretty decent season overall. So kind of just check out the objectives and let you know how I did. Youth development this season, it was to sign basically 4 youth players, one kind of in each general area of the pitch, which I was able to complete relatively easily. It's not that hard, just sign random players, whatever, and it's all good. Brand exposure still wasn't a new short-term goal. That 5 clean sheets in away league matches has been there for like a couple of seasons now, for whatever reason. Probably because it came as the same season as long-term goal. I hadn't completed it yet. But the long-term goal I finally, as you can see, completed the season was to sign 4 players with an overall of 82 or above, which they consider the best players in the world. Going into the season, we were at 2 out of 4, if you remember from the last time. And when I go over kind of transfer business and whatnot, you'll see where those last 2 came from. Financial was kind of the same thing again, was to sign 3 crucial players and make a profit of £172 million. We signed 1 out of 3 crucial players, which I'll also going to go into the transfer business, and we had a profit of £820.8 million. And then the other one was again another. This was a new one. This wasn't like the same one that already completed last season, but they wanted us to again reduce player wages by £130,000 a week, which I was able to do through my transfer business, which again I'll get into. Domestic and continental success. Premier League was to win the title. FA Cup was to win the cup. Champions League was to reach the final. I'll kind of get into how he did in those as we go over the standings here. So, starting off, we'll start off with the kind of first thing of the year is the Community Shield, because we won the Premier League title last season. Went up against Manchester City, who had won the FA Cup. In the Community Shield, we won that match 3-0. That was a simulated match based on me doing the whole randomizer thingy-majig. And that was 3-0 with goals from Michael Olise, Bruno, and Harry Kane. So we started off the season on a high, and I'll kind of get into how crazy the season kind of went in general. But next up, we'll do Carabao Cup, because that kind of finishes second. And we finally, after me kind of saying this entire time, I wanted to win, like kind of one of every trophy after we had a success in the first season, winning a trophy at all. And this season, we finally won Carabao Cup, beating Arsenal in the final, 4-1. If we want to kind of go over our journey, how we got there, started in round 3 with a match against Championship Middlesbrough. That was a away fixture. That one, based on the randomizers to play, we won 5-1 with braces from Troy Parrott and Alfie Devine, and an Ndombele goal in the middle to kind of complete a rout of Middlesbrough. Next up, round 4. We got matched up against London rivals Chelsea, which could have been a banana skin for us in the cup. But the randomizer is kind to us, even though Spurs' recent history against Chelsea has been very good. There is the 1 win in the 2022-23 season IRL, which kind of helped us get the play in the randomizer. That was a 2-1 win, as you can see, the Harry Kane brace with assists from Kumbedi and Ndombele. Hugo Lloris, the man of the match in that match. Next up, the quarterfinals. We got matched up against Manchester City, so we got a pretty tough run here in the Carabao Cup. We got 2 at quarterfinals. That was a simulated match, and 2 I will say has kind of become Mr. Clutch for us in this career mode is Tanguy Ndombele. 2-1 win, as you see. Harry Kane with the first goal and Tanguy Ndombele with the second goal to clinch the win late in the match. So we moved on to the semifinal, which is a two-leg affair where we were matched up against Newcastle. As you can see, the aggregate was pretty dominant, 6-1. If I scroll down here, first leg was the away leg, which was a play based on the randomizer, which ended 4-0 with goals from Elise, a Kane brace, and from Bruno against his former club, with Bruno being the man of the match. Second leg was at home, which was a simulated game based on the randomizer, with goals from Tanguy Ndombele and Harry Kane to kind of finish him off and get to the Carabao Cup final against our North London Derby rivals, Arsenal, which we won 4-1. Now it's a simulated match, which this was like the slow kind of sim with the circles on the screen and all that jazz, so I could like record the lifting of the cup if we won the match, which we ended up winning. I'm pretty sure how it went was Arsenal scored first, like pretty quickly in, if I remember correctly, and then we stormed out to a 4-1 win with a goal from Paquetá, a Kane brace, and a goal from Michael Elise, with Lucas Paquetá being the man of the match as we triumphed in a North London Derby final to hoist the Carabao Cup. So as you see, we already have 2 trophies in here, Community Shield and the Carabao Cup. Next up, we'll go to the FA Cup, because that kind of technically finishes before the end of the Premier League season. So we'll go to the FA Cup. As you can see, again, this season was pretty spectacular. We won the FA Cup for the first time in this career mode, so based on that, we've now kind of won every trophy there is to win pretty much. We've won the Community Shield, the Super Cup for the UEFA Super Cup, Premier League title, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, and the Champions League. So this is a pretty successful series overall. But kind of going into our journey in the FA Cup, go back to round 3 here. We got, where are we? No, we're not on the screen. Are we on this screen? Nope. Nope. There we are. Okay. We got matched up against Plymouth Argyle, a pretty favorable matchup against like a League One or Championship, like a lower league side. That ended up being play, because I think we've played Plymouth Argyle like a handful of times in history, and Tottenham have won all of them. So that was like an always play kind of situation for how we do things here. Ended up being 3-0 with a pretty heavily rotated side, with a brace from Alfie Devine and a goal from Troy Parrott, with Alfie Devine being the man of the match to cap off the 3-0 win in round 3. Moving on to round 4. We got a matchup of a club I never knew existed before, but in Hartlepool United. It's a lower league side. That was also a play. That was a home fixture, and we won that 2-0, as you can see, with a brace from Mr. Clutch, Tanguy Ndombele. Then moves on to round 5 of the FA Cup, where we started really getting into, we got some pretty tough matchups the rest of the way out. Round 5 was a London derby against hated rivals West Ham. It says 3-1, but the match actually went to extra time. We were 1-1 after 90 minutes, with our first goal in that match being from Troy Parrott. I'm pretty sure West Ham either equalized or we equalized after they scored first, and things went to extra time. And extra time, I kind of brought in, so I used a pretty heavily rotated side for this. But then when we were kind of going extra time, I brought in some of the big guns off the bench, like Harry Kane, Paquetá, etc. And the one who became the hero extra time was Michael Elise with a brace in extra time. Pretty sure a goal in each kind of half of the extra time to send us to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, which is another tremendously tough matchup against Arsenal, which we won 2-1. That also went to extra time. That was a simulated match. That one also went to extra time, 2-1. Our first goal in the goal of the 90 minutes was from Harry Kane. As I was kind of saying, Mr. Clutch in this season was Tanguy Ndombele, with Tanguy Ndombele scoring the goal in extra time to send us to the semi-finals of the FA Cup. Semi-final matchup, we got the much tougher matchup here, because as you see all the options. Brentford had gotten relegated last season for the Premier League, so they were championship side, and Brighton kind of a mid-table for most of this. We got the really tough matchup of Liverpool, which that was another simulated match. It was initially it was a re-roll based on I think a draw we had against Liverpool in the past, then re-rolled to simulate the match, and then ended 2-1 with goals from Bruno and Harry Kane to send us to the final against Brentford, as you can see here. That excuse me. That ended 2-1. I played that match. It was a re-roll into a play, and that ended 2-1. Brentford actually came out kind of storming, as you probably see on the little highlights at the end of this. Brentford came out hot. They scored like 4 minutes into the match with some poor defensive play on my part. Pass straight kind of cut across the box, tapped in for an easy goal. But I was resilient. Either way, in the past, I probably would have crumbled. I was pretty resilient in this match, and players are pretty gassed, to be honest, because I was had a lot of matches this season. As you can see, we made it pretty far in a lot of competitions. We're pretty gassed, but Jed Spence kind of came out clutch with 2 assists to Harry Kane and Michael Olise to establish our lead, and we kind of held things out from there to win the FA Cup 2-1. Sorry. Go on to the Premier League. As you can see here, we won the Premier League again for the 4th time in a row, so equaling what City just did in real life. We've won the Premier League for the 4th season in a row, which as you can see, that was a domestic treble. Technically, if you want to call it a domestic quadruple, if you want to include the Community Shield. But as you can see here, we won the Premier League again with 87 points. Our closest challengers for this time were Arsenal instead of Man City, as it usually has been. And to be honest, Arsenal, I honestly kind of thought for the most of the season that we weren't going to win the title, because even though like I was kind of fortunate with the randomizer, got a lot of play, and the simulated matches, like we went 9 matches unbeaten at the start of the season. Arsenal were looking like a invincible side for most of like the season. I think they were like went 10-0 because they beat like our 10th match was against Arsenal. They beat us 2-0 in the simulated match, and they were like flying really high. But we kind of stayed in near the title picture area, and Arsenal eventually dropped off, and we were able to pick up steam. I had like some really long unbeaten runs in the league. Even though we also lost both our fixtures. No, we had first one was a loss. Our second fixture against Arsenal was match week 34, where we were 4 points ahead with a game in hand. So we were in a really good position by that point. We drew that match 2-2. That was a simulated match. We drew that 2-2, which pretty much ended any Arsenal's hopes of a title, because the easiest way for them to catch up was to win that match. We drew 2-2 with goals from Bruno and Ryan Sessegnon, who became the starter after an injury to Ferland Mendy in a match a couple weeks earlier against Newcastle. But yeah, so we were able to kind of triumph and hold on for a Premier League win. So that was the domestic treble. So moving, the last competition is the Champions League. And sorry about that. Let me get to that. Scroll down here. Actually, before we recap our Champions League, let's recap, I guess, the Super Cup, which we weren't involved in at all. That was PSG over Manchester United. Kind of hitting on the other European competitions. The Conference League was Nice over Liverpool 3-1. And then the Europa League was Man United 2-0 over Inter. Kind of go to the Champions League. As you can see here, we triumphed 3-1 over Barcelona. So we hit a quadruple, technically a pentuple if you want to include the Community Shield as part of that. So this is a pretty incredible final season for Hugo Lloris, winning all these trophies with him in net for pretty much every match of these, even though he was retiring, his overall declined. how we got here. The group stage, let me actually I might as well just show it. Group stage, finished top of the group, 5 wins, 1 draw, in a group with Roma. It's honestly a pretty easy group if we're looking at it. Group with Roma, Dynamo Kiev from the Ukrainian League, and PSV from the Dutch Eredivisie. But I think our draw was like our first match. Yeah, it looks like right there, first match of the group stage against Roma, which was a 1-1 draw. Let me scroll up here my spreadsheet just to double check that. Yeah, it was a 1-1 draw against Roma. And then made it out to the round of 16 where we matched up pretty tough matchup considering we were like top of the group. We got matched up against Bayern Munich in the round of 16. Let me scroll down to those on my spreadsheet. Those were the first match was a simulated match, which the first leg was a 1-1 away leg with a goal from Mr. Clutch, Tanguy Ndombele. Second leg was at home, was a play, which was ended 1-0, so we advanced 2-1 on aggregate with a goal from Harry Kane and Michael Olise assist. Quarterfinals, we got another pretty touch matchup against Manchester City. In the quarterfinals, both of those legs were simulated. The first leg was 2-2 away at Manchester City with goals from Louis Paquetá and Harry Kane. And the second leg was at home, which was another 2-2 draw after 90 minutes. Couldn't be settled after extra time either, so it went to pens with our 2 goals in regulation were from Bruno and Harry Kane. And the penalty shootout, we won the penalty shootout 5-4. So that was a really close. Our Champions League campaign was like that close. Basically a coin flip from being cut short there. But we were simulated penalty takers were pretty excellent. 1 save or a miss from Manchester City player. Moving on to the semifinals, we got matchup against PSG, which is another really tough matchup. First leg was at home, which was a simulated match, which we lost 1-2. We had a goal from Clement Lenglet, like earlier on in the match when PSG scored 2 goals to respond and took the advantage for what was us in a way like for them the home leg. Second leg at PSG, which ended up being a play, which PSG we never played in like official like competition based match before. So that was like my randomized method of 2 plays, a reroll, and 2 sims, and landed on play for the second leg, and that was a honestly crazy match, which I'll kind of describe a little bit more detail. As you can see, the final score ended up being 4-2, with us advancing on aggregate 5-4. And I'll kind of go into the match here. So as I said, we were down 1 goal on aggregate, and we basically needed basically if we're going to do a draw, we basically need an equivalent score line because PSG had scored 2 in their away leg. But we opened up the scoring I think it was like 4 or 5 minutes in. I opened up the score with a goal from Bruno Guimaraes with I'm pretty sure a Harry Kane assist. And then I kind of just absolutely collapsed defensively and right in and around the box, which isn't honestly surprising considering their front line was like Mbappe, who was it? It was like Mbappe, Dusan Vlahovic, and like someone else it's like a world class like tier player that they brought in. Yeah, but we collapsed. Mbappe scored 2 to make it 2-1 PSG again, which would have knocked us out of the competition. But hero of the leg was Jed Spence on the right hand side, right wing back position, as able to feed him some nice balls. Yeah, I think one of them he also just won himself, and he stormed down the right hand side, kind of got into the box, cut in a little bit, and shot it to the left around Donnarumma to get us the 2-2, a 3-2 advantage in the leg, and a 4-4 aggregate total score, which then sent the match to extra time, where players were absolutely gassed. But Michael Olise kind of found that little moment of brilliance with a picture with an assist from William Saliba to pot a pretty bananas top bins goal to take us to the final, knock out PSG, And then, as I said, in the final, we got matched up against Barcelona, which that was a simulated match. Spurs have faced Barcelona a couple of times in matches and never beaten them, so that was a simulated match with the slow sit with the circles and whatnot. Which we opened the scoring like pretty early on with like a Luis Paquetá goal with an Elise assist. Barcelona responded with a Rafinha goal, and then things kind of went back and forth, and no one really being able to get that advantage. And then in the second half, I'm pretty sure another goal from Paquetá to make it a brace, and a goal from Michael Elise saw us complete the quadruple and win the Champions League 3-1. So this season, as you can see here, is honestly absolutely incredible. Blew my mind how successful this season was, especially with Hugo's overall being like in the 70s for like the entire season. I was pretty like impressed that we were able to kind of win a lot of these simulated matches against pretty tough teams in these competitions. So I'd say this is kind of a pretty successful season overall. In terms of not that transfer market business, let me delete that message. We made a couple of handful of moves in the transfer market. Some of them were pretty big moves, so I'll kind of go over them. In total for this season, we sold 4 players and brought in 2 players. As you can see here, first sale was Destiny Udogie for basically 140 million pounds to Real Madrid because he didn't really fit our like kind of requirements because he's wouldn't become a homegrown player for Spurs based on like when he joined us and all that jazz. So I moved him on and brought in pretty ironically a former Real Madrid player, but who also Real Madrid brought in from Lyon many moons ago, Ferland Mendy, who was at Stade Rennais in Ligue 1 at this point, and I brought him in for 34.8 million pounds. He was at 84 overall, and he kind of became our starter, and he was pretty clutch with a lot of good assists and goals in matches that we simulated and played. But as I kind of said, in a match against Newcastle, he broke his toe towards the end of the season, so Ryan Sessegnon kind of ate up an absolute ton of minutes, was gassed by the end of the season, basically playing every minute, almost every match for the rest of the season. Next up was, wrong thing again, sorry about that, was Richarlison. We kind of sold him back to Everton for 57 million pounds, which I think is a little less than we actually spent for him in real life. I think it was like 60 million or so. But I was willing to I moved him on because Troy Parrott was kind of ready to make the jump to be Harry Kane's backup. And as you kind of saw from my recapping the cup competitions, he kind of played a huge role, scoring a lot of goals, a lot of assists in the cup competitions for us. So he filled his role as Harry Kane's backup pretty well. I'd have to say he's a good homegrown player, so it's a pretty kind of cool academy products player. Pap Sarr, basically, I don't think he ever stepped on the pitch for us in this career mode because his overall was too low. So there was like we had a glut of midfielders, so he would go out on loan and whatnot. So he was sold to Real Betis in, pretty sure that's their La Liga team for 12 million pounds. And the last kind of transfer out was a humongous one. It was the Dogi one, which was pretty massive. It was the second biggest transfer of the season in the global top 10. The biggest transfer was this one, Christian Romero. We sold to Villarreal for 151 million pounds. Absolutely bonkers. And you're like, who could we replace Christian Romero with? Like he was like that good overall, but he didn't hit the thing. But who did we replace him with? We replaced him with William Saliba. Now you're thinking, William Saliba, he's an Arsenal player. Arsenal would never do business with Spurs. That's pretty unrealistic of me to kind of go out and bring him in. But here, if I can show transfer history. Over here, my club. There we go. He had actually been sold, I think, like a season or two ago by Arsenal to Inter Milan. So because of that fact, I was like, all right, well, while he was kind of like young at Arsenal, they sent him out on loan to Nice or Lyon. I forget which one exactly. I think it was Nice. They sent him out on loan to Nice, so he kind of fit had a theme we were going for with the squad. So because he was at Inter and not at Arsenal, I was more comfortable kind of going for him in the transfer market. So we brought him in for 104.8 million pounds. So the bulk of the Romero money basically went right back into his replacement. And so kind of that, like he was kind of the last piece in this kind of squad of players that kind of like, it took us like 4 seasons into this to kind of completely mold the squad into one that kind of fit our theme very well. Let's kind of go here, look at them, kind of just in general in the formation. So Harry Kane, our striker, homegrown player, Tottenham legend. His backup, Troy Parrott, down here. Homegrown player, kind of fits the mold that we were going for. Club trained as well for the Champions League, kind of stricter requirements. Our left wing / left attacking midfielder is Luis Paquetá, who fits the theme through being an ex-Lyon player. His backup, Alfie Devine, club trained homegrown player. Right wing / right attacking mid, Michael Olise. He's a homegrown player, and he's a French international, which kind of helped time into the theme even better. His backup, Mr. Clutch, Tanguy Ndombele, ex-Lyon player. We brought him in from Lyon back in the day. He was huge for us in the midfield. Oliver Skip, homegrown club trained player. And Bruno Guimaraes, ex-Lyon player. In terms of their backups, it was Harvey White, homegrown club trained player, and Mario Lamina, ex-Lyon or Nice player. In terms of the wingback positions, as I said, Mendy is injured, but he was ex-Lyon player. He was our starter this last season. His backup, Ryan Sessegnon, homegrown prospect. Right wing back was Jed Spence, homegrown player. His backup, Saïd Koumbedi, Lyon player. Technically, I think it would be homegrown for us based on when we brought him in. But he's an Lyon player, so that's how he kind of fits. Our center backs, Clement Longley. He's kind of an outlier, relatively speaking, but he was already on the Tottenham squad. He's a French international. So I was like, might as well kind of keep him to kind of try and keep the squad overhaul at a minimum. So he kind of fits their theme by being a French international. In the center, Jean-Claire Todibo, Nice player. On the right, Saliba spent time on loan at Nice. Our backups for that were Jared Brentwaite, homegrown player, Joe Roding, homegrown player, and Japhet Tanganga, club-trained homegrown player. And finally in goal, the focus of this whole thing, Hugo Lloris, and his backup, homegrown club-trained player, Brandon Austin. That's kind of the squad in general. Kind of in terms of statistics and whatnot. Harry Kane had absolutely monstrous season. Primarily, mostly because we actually went far in the cup competitions this year instead of like crashing out in the first round like we usually did. 49 goals, 22 assists in all competitions, with the vast majority of those coming in the Premier League. It's 28 goals, I'm pretty sure, to win the Golden Boot. Paquetá and Olise also popped off this season, with Paquet each with 10 assists. In all competitions, Paquetá with 21 goals, Olise with 19 goals, pretty impressive return. Bruno, another solid season in the center of the park, 10 goals, 14 assists in all competitions. You see here, Troy Parrott had only 10 goals, 9 assists, all competitions, most of those coming in the Cups and Champions League group stage once we kind of clinched. And our backups, Alfie Devine, Tanguy Ndombele, Mr. Clutch here, 9 goals each. And then kind of from there, 5 from our wingback areas, Spence, Sessegnon, Mendy, Todibo with a couple of goals, Langley with a couple of goals. Hugo Lloris actually scored a goal. Yes, you're seeing that right. Hugo Lloris scored a goal. That was, let me go back to my spreadsheet to make sure I had the right fixture. Pretty sure, where was it? Yeah, it was a match week 16 away at Everton at Goodison Park. Harry Kane won a penalty, and I was like, for the kind of for the lulz, why not have Lloris take the penalty? He coolly converted from the spot. Goalkeeper kind of stood down the middle. He went to the right, slotted it in. But that match ended up being a 1-1 draw. So like a late equalizer from Everton that I couldn't recover from. But yeah, the footage of that will be kind of included at the end of the episode. So you can see Lloris taking a pen and slotting it home. And then Mario Lamina and Saliba, some assists. So everyone pretty much, except for Harvey White here, contributed a goal contribution of some sort during the season. So this is pretty much a tremendous team effort, which is how we were able to kind of win the quadruple and all that good stuff. But yeah, with that, instead, Hugo Lloris is retiring at the end of the season. Let me go back to that, not the youth academy. Yeah, it says here, Hugo Lloris retiring at the end of the season, so we made it from the 2022-2023 season to the 2025-2026 season, so that's 4 seasons in total. And we won an absolute ton of silverware. From that, we won 2 pieces our first season, the Premier League and the Champions League. Second season, we got the UEFA Super Cup and the Premier League title again, so that's 4 pieces of silverware. Last season, 24-25, we got Community Shield and our 3rd straight Premier League title for 6 pieces of silver, 2 a season at that point. This season, we kind of basically doubled that pretty much with 5 pieces of silverware this season: Community Shield, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Premier League title, Champions League title. So 11 total pieces of silverware in this 4th season. Hugo Lloris Tottenham Hotspur Kit Quest career mode, which I'd say that's a pretty resounding success, far and above where I kind of thought it would be. I was kind of thinking going into this, just because it's Tottenham and the sim and all that kind of stuff, I was kind of expecting us maybe to win maybe 1 Premier League title down like in this last season or so, or second to last season. Maybe like a cup competition I was kind of really hoping for is maybe a Carabao Cup, FA Cup. Maybe get lucky and win one of those. Now, I would consider that a success, but this has been an absolutely resounding success. 11 trophies for Hugo. So, yeah. So I will be acquiring the kit that you can kind of see him wearing there, the fan version of that, and kind of getting it done up with his name set and the Premier League patch and all that good stuff, which will eventually be on my Instagram, which whenever that happens, I will link in the description or in like a pinned comment or something like that. But kind of cover everything there is to cover. This has been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed this, but it's kind of time to end it with Hugo Lloris retiring. So thank you for watching, and you'll probably see another either a jersey quest or a kit quest at some point in the future. Who it will be, not quite sure yet, because I got to figure some kind of things out with that, how I kind of figure it out and whatnot with my system I kind of use for all this kind of stuff I'm putting on YouTube, which even though no one really watches it, it's just for kind of me documenting my kind of gaming history and whatnot. Now that I kind of have a actual gaming PC and all that good stuff, so I can document this stuff more effectively, just kind of have a record for my own uses and whatnot. But if anyone ever watches this, thank you for watching, and I kind of look out for any other stuff I post in the future.
And full time, most satisfying, a victory in the curtain raiser to the season.
Well, it's certainly a good way to start the season. That's just what they wanted. They played really well today, and it's always great to keep winning trophies.
First piece of silverware, and that is never to be sniffed at, as the players applaud the fans who have been backing them today.
Well, it's great preparation for the season, Derek, and this is always a nice moment, going up to lift any trophy. Great for those fans as well.
Now for the trophy lift. And with friends and family in attendance, you've always got to really savour these moments when they come around, Stuart.
Well, they've got to enjoy this, Derek, and then get ready for a tough season ahead. They won't be celebrating too much tonight.
Absolutely, Stuart. They all know the show must go on after this. And now the players posing for the images that will be sent around the world.
Well, these are great moments, aren't they? Certainly ones to cherish, and they'll want more of this come the end of the season.
And the referee blows his whistle. It's full time here, and Spurs have prevailed. Your assessment?
Well, Derek, it was a comfortable win in the end. Fully deserved their victory because they dominated every aspect of the game. It was a really good result for them here today.
taken short. A delivery from Salah here. It's gone in beyond the goalkeeper, and Liverpool are level. Kane must take the lead here. And they have. You've got to say, it has been coming. Bentancur. Salah! Well, that was a gilt-edged opportunity for the equaliser.
Well, I'm not sure how he's missed the target from there.
And missing the chance to give them a bit of breathing space.
Well, that's...
Paqueta. Will it be? And a goal to seal the hat-trick. A masterclass in finishing. Just can't stop him today. Spectacular save. Top-class goalkeeping. Not quite the clearance they were hoping for. Oh, it comes to nothing in the end. Really should have made more of that. Sessegnon. Lemina. Oh, the referee has given it. Penalty it is. Well, he's also showing him the yellow card.
Yeah, he had to make the challenge, but it was always going to be risky, and so it proved.
Can they extend their lead? And confidently converted.
Well, here it is again, and just watch the keeper. He stands still, hoping it's hit down the middle. Unfortunately for him, he's got it wrong.
Can he make it 1-0? And he finds the net. No difficulties encountered.
Well, here it is again, and just watch the keeper. He stands still, hoping it's hit down the middle. Unfortunately for him, he's got it wrong.
There's the final whistle. The cup issue is settled. A story of one side celebrating and the other distraught. Memories are being made.
Well, just look at those scenes down there, Derek. What a contrast in emotions. Brilliant for the winners, despair for the losers. But overall, the right team won today.
Yep, you can see what it means to this tight-knit team. Real solidarity.
Well, this is special for everybody at the club. What a great moment for any young player. And this is what you dream about when you start playing football. When you're playing in the playground, you want to win a cup. Brilliant moment.
Yes, a special moment in the career of any footballer. And now for the trophy lift itself. The cup winners.
Well, you can just see what it means to those players and the manager. That's fantastic stuff.
There's always the element of chance in a cup competition. But my goodness, they've taken the rough with the smooth. And now they savour the moment. Full marks to the entire team, and now they get the chance to exhale and enjoy.
They've been brilliant in this competition, and so have the fans. They've really got behind their team. They've played a big part in this win. Just look at those faces in the crowd. Great stuff.
Really a match made in heaven between players and fans. And these celebrations are going to continue for quite some time. And now the players get to relax a bit and enjoy having the pictures taken.
Well, these photos will be cherished for years to come, won't they? Certainly ones to show the grandchildren.
To it. And possession given away. Just the challenge that was required. Can they hit on the break? Defenders need to cover. Must be! And this time it's in! Fabulous goal! And just look at the celebrations!
Well, let's look at this again, Derek, because the transition when the ball changes hands is so quick. And when he gets onto it, he decides to go for power. It's a really emphatic finish, which gives the keeper no chance.
Rodon. On to Paquetá. Well, he's got plenty of space on the flank here. Delivering it into the box. Just couldn't get it through. Oh, the overhead kick! Pure athleticism! Wonderful goal!
Well, just look at this. He couldn't have hit it any better, could he? This is the perfect example of a bicycle kick.
More minutes. We're into the second period of extra time here.
À sa place, numéro 21, Xavi Simons.
And the challenge halts them in their tracks. Oh, big chance! Oh, a goal! The ball's in the net! A hugely important moment in the story of this tie!
Well, here it is, 1v1 against the keeper, and the outcome was never really in doubt. He never looked like missing that.
About it. Everyone here, including the players, just waiting for the moment when they can celebrate their accomplishments. The trophy will soon be theirs.
Well, it's been a long wait, but it's worth it. Celebrating in front of their own fans. They've been excellent this season. They fully deserve to be the champions.
And that is a vivid picture of what we associate with this group of players. It's all about the team ethic. You can see what it means to this tight-knit team. Real solidarity.
Well, this is special for everybody at the club. What a great moment for any young player. And this is what you dream about when you start playing football. When you're playing in the playground, you want to win a cup. Brilliant moment.
Yes, a special moment in the career of any footballer. And now for the trophy lift itself. The cup winners.
Well, you can just see what it means to those players and the manager. That's fantastic stuff.
There's always the element of chance in a cup competition, but my goodness, they've taken the rough with the smooth, and now they savour the moment.
Well, for some of these players, it will be the pinnacle of their careers. They just have to take it all in now and realise what they've achieved here. It doesn't come much better than this, does it? And just look at those fans. They've followed their club everywhere.
Yeah, really a match made in heaven between players and fans. And these celebrations are going to continue for quite some time. And now the players get to relax a bit and enjoy having the pictures taken.
Well, these photos will be cherished for years to come, won't they? Certainly ones to show the grandchildren.
So, the cup issue is settled. A story of one side celebrating and the other distraught. Memories are being made.
Well, just look at those scenes down there, Derek. What a contrast in emotions. Brilliant for the winners, despair for the losers. But overall, the right team won today.
Yeah, you can see what it means to this tight-knit team. Real solidarity.
Well, this is special for everybody at the club. What a great moment for any young player. And this is what you dream about when you start playing football. When you're playing in the playground, you want to win a cup. Brilliant moment.
It's a special moment in the career of any footballer. And now for the trophy lift itself. The cup winners.
Well, you can just see what it means to those players and the manager. That's fantastic stuff.
There's always the element of chance in a cup competition, but my goodness, they've taken the rough with the smooth, and now they savour the moment. Full marks to the entire team, and now they get the chance to exhale and enjoy.
They've been brilliant in this competition, and so have the fans. They've really got behind their team. They've played a big part in this win. Just look at those faces in the crowd. Great stuff.
It's really a match made in heaven between players and fans. And these celebrations are going to continue for quite some time. And now the players get to relax a bit and enjoy having the pictures taken.
Well, these photos will be cherished for years to come, won't they? Certainly ones to show the grandchildren.
And now they get the ball rolling. Beltran. Opportunity it is. Oh yes! First to score in this final. And it could be highly significant. Oh, fine stop. Oh, keeper in control. Kane. Has eyes for goal. And a really good diving stop. Substitution time it is here. Still on level terms, moving the ball. Well, just narrowly wide of the post that time. Oh, there it is! There's the goal that gives them the lead. Just what they wanted. Lucas Paqueta. Advantage Spurs. Oh, what a fantastic save.
Well, that's a match-winning save there. Not long left now.
It's official now. Tottenham Hotspur have been crowned Club Kings of Europe.
Well, just look at the emotions out there. Joy and relief on one side, despair and heartache on the other. But we've got the right winners here. They fully deserved it on the night.
For these players, well, it's the night of their lives, and they're determined to enjoy every millisecond.
Well, they have to make the most of this, don't they? It's a great feat. What an achievement from them.
Well, they don't need to be reminded about what comes next. It's the presentation of the coveted Champions League trophy.
Well, there's some tired players out there, but what you can be sure of, they'll find some energy when they get their hands on the trophy. They'll be going mad in the next few moments.
Tottenham, Champions League winners.
Well, this is what they wanted. What a moment for these players. They've worked so hard to win this trophy. They've been fantastic.
And you can feel the emotion. It's natural to reflect on this final, but so much hard work has gone into the entire campaign. Memories, memories. What would a celebration be without the chance to enjoy it with your own supporters?
Well, these fans have certainly played their part, haven't they? They'll savour these moments. They've travelled far and wide to follow their team. They're loving every minute of this, and why not? They deserve it.
A performance of fire as well as ice. They held their nerve when that was necessary. And these celebrations will run long into the night.
Well, these are the moments they have to make the most of. It doesn't happen very often, does it? These will be photos to cherish for years to come. Brilliant stuff.
And you are looking at the best club side in Europe.